Hi guys, so today we're going to discuss about electricity. Okay, so what is electricity? Let us try to understand this. Electricity, you can say it's a flow of charge. Flow of charge. Yep, and something more. Is it something which has been invented by human beings, by us, or it is a natural phenomenon? The answer is it's a phenomenon. It's a natural phenomenon. Okay, it's a natural phenomenon. Yeah, sorry. So till now we have to keep two things in our mind, that electricity is nothing, it's a flow of charge, okay, and it's a natural phenomenon. So now charge, we all know it's of two types, plus and minus, yeah. So what kind of charge? Is it a flow of positive charge or is it flow of negative charge? So in order to understand that, we have to know about subatomic particles, okay. So before I come to subatomic particles, let us start with matter, molecules, atoms, and then subatomic particles. And then I will revisit the definition of electricity. I will start from here. Okay. So, so if I ask you guys, what is the building blocks of matter? Any matter, let's say. What is the building blocks of matter? What a matter is made up of? The answer is molecules. Matter is made up of molecules. Yeah. In turn, if I ask what a molecule is made up of, so the answer is molecules are made up of atoms. So you can say atoms are the building blocks of molecules. And how about atoms? Atoms are made up of two things. You can say one is electron. We represent electron minus sign, and it has a nucleus also. Okay. So what is contained inside nucleus of an atom? Nucleus contains two subatomic particles, namely neutrons and protons. So let me write it for you. So this E minus, I have used here minus sign, yeah. Okay. And for proton, let us use plus sign. Let me write it for you. This is electron, this is neutron, and this is proton. Okay. Neutron, N means this is neutron, yeah, and P plus, it means proton. So now if I ask you how an atom looks like, the answer is this. An atom looks like this. It has nucleus at its center, which is positively charged. This is what we discussed right now. Why it is positively charged? Because it has protons. Okay, and neutrons doesn't carry any charge. Okay, so we can represent protons as the dots, as the green dots. Okay, green dots, and it contains neutrons as well. So let us represent neutrons using this. Fine. And an atom must need to be electrically neutral. So you just see here how many units of positive charge are there. It is 4 plus. You can say 4 unit of positive charge. Yeah, we can say that. So in order to make it electrically neutral, we must require 4 unit of negatively charged. So that means we require 4 electrons. Yeah. So now plus 4 and minus 4. It will make an atom electrically neutral. Let me write it for you. Atom electrically neutral. Okay. Possibly someone would ask you why an atom is electrically neutral though it contains some charged particles, electrons and protons. Electrons are negatively charged and protons are positively charged. But still, why it is electrically neutral? The answer is that it contains equal number of protons and electrons. So that is the reason they used to cancel out the charges. Yeah. So till now we can say that by now we can say that there are two types of charges. Yeah, plus, which is caused due to protons, and minus, which is caused due to electrons. So now let us revisit the definition of electricity. So we said it is flow of charge, but we were not sure of what kind of charge. Is it plus or is it minus? So now we can say it is minus. Okay. So does it sounds good if I say it's a flow of minus charge? No. So let us redefine electricity. Okay. So let us redefine it, and we can say that it's a flow of electrons. Electricity is nothing but it's a flow of electrons. We represent electrons E minus. Okay, so that much we can say. So we are pretty much clear about electricity. What is electricity? It is flow of, it is a stream of electrons, you can say. It is caused due to flow of electrons. Okay, earlier the definition was flow of charge. Let me make it clear to you why it was so. Because we know it's a natural phenomenon. It is not something which has been invented by human beings. It is already existing. You must have observed lightning in the sky during rainy season. Yeah. So why it happens? Why it happens? So suppose, yeah, because lots of electrons gets transferred between between clouds. Okay. So suppose this is one cloud. This is another cloud. Another cloud. We often see lightning during rainy season, thundering. So why it happens? Because the cloud move against each other. Due to that, they cause friction. Yeah, and electrons get transferred from one piece of cloud to another piece, and that happens in bulk quantity. That means you can say bulk of electrons get transferred. Use like millions and billions of electrons get transferred. That is in a within a fraction of second, and that is what we observed in the as the form of lightning. Okay. Now before I one more thing actually I would like to explain here. What can be transferred out of an electron, out of an atom? What do you think? Can proton be transferred uh, out of an atom? The answer is no. Why? Because it is tightly packed inside the nucleus. So protons cannot be transferred from one atom to another. So what is free to move between atoms of a matter? Between atoms of a matter, it is the electrons. Electrons are free to move. Yeah. So suppose, so now we know that matter is made up of molecules, which in turn made up of atoms, and which in turn made up of electrons, protons, and neutrons. So from the charge perspective, we can say they are made up of electrons and protons. So now let us represent a piece of matter here. A piece of matter here this way. I am representing a piece of matter. So electrons are free to move. Okay. So electrons will be here, 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 in every atom. Okay. So they can move from this atom to this atom, from this atom to this atom, something like that. It'll continuously happen. So substance in which this conduction of electrons happens, means this flow of electrons happens, okay, at a good pace, we call it as a conductor. Okay. but at the same time there are substances in which flow of electrons happens at a very less speed, which doesn't cause any effect. So that type of substance is called insulator. I'm not going to draw the picture of insulator. I have drawn a picture of a picture of a substance which is conductor. Yeah, it shows the flow of electrons between the atoms, continuous flow of the electrons. It is better to call continuous flow of electrons. Okay, let me write here continuous flow of electrons. And in insulator, flow of electrons takes place at a very less speed. Okay, and it doesn't cause any effect. So we are done with the definition of electricity. Now we understand what is electricity. It is a flow of electrons. Okay, fine. So if I ask you to divide like how many types of electricity do we know? So you can say electricity is of two types. Okay, it's DC and AC. Okay, so DC is nothing. This is called direct current. Direct current. And AC is called alternating current. Yeah, alternating current. Okay, let us try to understand DC first and then we'll go through AC. Yeah, we're going to talk about DC. Yeah, here I have written the definition of direct current. It is continuous flow of electrons, just pay attention, in one direction. So this one direction is a keyword which we have to keep in our mind. Yeah, so I'll explain it more. So you must have seen a pencil battery. It used to have two terminal. You go and observe a pencil battery. It used to have two terminal. One terminal is indicated minus and another terminal is plus. Okay, so do we know what this plus and minus means? Let me tell you. This minus means it is this terminal has extra electrons. We can say it has surplus of electrons or extra electrons or more electrons, whatever you say. So let us call it extra electrons. This terminal has extra electrons. Better to use surplus of electrons, okay? But in the simpler term I'm using. And this terminal is plus. That means what? That means it has deficiency, it has lack of electrons, it has less number of electrons, okay? Less electrons. Lesser electrons. So what do you see? This causes an imbalance. Okay, the number of electrons are not same on both the terminals. I repeat, the number of electrons are not the same on both the terminals. On one of the terminal it is lesser in number and on the other terminal it is more in number. Yeah, so due to that it causes gradient. Let me make you understand what is gradient. Yeah, so just I'm writing it down here. So due to this, it creates a gradient. We should know what is gradient. Okay, so gradient in the simplest term, if you want to understand, you can say it's a kind of a difference. Okay, in the simplest term, though it is not difference exactly, just to make you understand in the simplest possible term, I am saying that it is different sort of. So let me make you understand what is gradient. Suppose there are two glasses, okay, glass beakers you can say, There are two glass beakers, just pay attention here, and they have an opening. Okay, both of them has opening here. So both of them are well connected. So you have this kind of setup in your laboratory or somewhere. Okay, you can consider it as two tanks or two container made up of glass because we can see it clearly. Okay, and suppose currently the valve, this is called valve. Okay, the valve is in the closing position. Okay, the valve is closed. Let me write this right here. Valve is closed. Okay, okay, and you go and fill up this particular container with water. Okay, we fill this container with water. Okay, so it'll appear something like this. Agree? The valve is closed, so and we have left it as it is. So what we see, we see that this tank is full of water and it is empty. Okay, so in that case, what do you see here? Like it has, we can say that it has gradient. Okay, why gradient? Because the level of water here is, let us call it h1. The level of water is h1 in this case. Okay, now let us do one thing. Open the valve. Open the valve. When we open the valve, what will happen? The answer is water will flow from, let us name out, from container A to container B till the level of water in both A and B becomes equal. Agree? It will continuously flow in between the vessels. Okay, till the level of water becomes equal. This will happen. Okay, it makes sure that the level of water becomes equal. So this is the final level of water, you will say. If you go and check the height of water in both the water in both the glass container, you will find it is same. I am representing it with H2. So why water flew from container A to container B? Because there was a gradient. You can say there was a gradient. Gradient in terms of level of water. So wherever there is gradient, flow will take place. Flow will take place just to make the level equal. Yeah, as simple as that. This is very simple to understand. So in the same, referring to this, we will understand DC current. So now I said it is plus and it is minus. Okay, it has lesser electrons and it is more extra electrons, so it causes gradient. Extra electrons, something like that you can compare, you can think of something like that, that it is having more electrons and it is having less electrons. So electrons will try to flow from this terminal to this terminal. The only thing which it requires is a piece of wire. Yeah, the moment you connect a piece of wire, okay, with plus and minus, I am just connecting, what will happen? Instantly electrons will start flowing from negative terminal to positive terminal. But the question is, up to what time it will keep on flowing? The answer is till the level gets equal, or till the number of electrons on both the terminals gets equal, or in other words you can say till there till there is no gradient, till it makes no gradient. Okay, so you can think in this way. It has gradient, so it will cause the flow of electrons, so that means it is charged. We call it the battery is charged. You are having a fully charged battery, charged cell. It will keep on flowing till a certain level. So, yeah, till it makes the number of electrons equal on both the terminals. Okay, so after that you will find that there is no more flow of electrons, because the number of electrons become equal on both the terminals. So that means it is having no gradient. It is no gradient, so that means it is completely discharged. So we say that it is the battery is discharged. So now we are either required to replace the cell or recharge the cell. Okay, which we quite often do. Now the last thing you must be thinking, why minus why minus represents extra electrons. Okay, y plus is lesser electrons. So let me make you understand. So let us put these things aside and consider something like this. Okay, suppose you are having you are having an atom in isolation. Okay, you are having one atom. Of course it will have nucleus, we know that. Suppose it contains 3 plus 3 plus. I'm ignoring neutrons for now. Okay, or we can put it just to, there are 3 plus, there are 3 protons inside the nucleus. Okay, so how many electrons we are required to have? The answer is 3 electrons. So we are having 3 electrons. So now it will make an atom electrically neutral. Fine. So what happened? We removed one electron, because we have already seen that electrons can flow between atoms. So suppose one electron uh, flew out of this atom. Okay, so now the structure will look like this. The nucleus will remain intact. It will have 3 plus. Okay, but now it will have only 2 electrons. So that means it is in a state wherein it is lacking the number of electrons. It is in the state of it is in the unbalanced state. Okay, because it is short of electrons. So if I ask you to tell me, is it charged? So the answer is of course yes. How much charge? Positive or negative, and by how much quantity? So how will we how we can calculate? We can do that simply. Plus 3 protons, and we can say minus 2 electrons. It'll give you plus 1. Yeah, so it is, so in a nutshell, it becomes positively charged by one unit. I repeat, the atom got positively charged by 1 unit. Okay, so what this plus means? This plus means atom is short of electrons. So wherever you see plus, so that means it is short of electrons. This is what I have said here. It is having lesser number of electrons. Let us think, this is number one thing. Okay, and let us consider another scenario wherein one more electrons got added to this particular atom. So how will the structure of this atom look like? It will look like something this. As I said earlier, protons will never move. It doesn't move ever. Okay, it will remain intact, but this time it has 4 electrons. And if I ask you to find out the net charge, so what is the answer? The answer is +3 and -4. So how much it will come? It will come -1. So this is what I am saying. So if you see minus, so that means what? It has more number of electrons. This is what I have written. It has surplus of electrons. Okay. So in a nutshell, there should exist a gradient of the number of electrons. Only then electrons will be able to flow from one terminal to another terminal. Of course, we require a conductor thing. You must remember conductor. Conductor is something which facilitates the flow of electrons. Okay, electric wire which we use is a conductor. Okay, and this is how it works.